Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Frankie Feaster, who's an edge rusher out of Muhlenberg College. How's it going, sir?
How's it going? Great to be here.
Cool. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe where you're from, and just a little bit of your history, if you don't mind.
So I'm from Montvale, New Jersey right now. Grew up in Washington Township, New Jersey, 5 minutes away from where I am now. I went to Bergen Catholic High School. I played under Nunzio Campanelli, who's at Rutgers currently. Played football and lacrosse at Bergen Catholic. Had an awesome experience. Made a lot of great friends. I mean, learned from a lot of fantastic coaches. And then a football and lacrosse player because it gave me an opportunity to play both. I could have walked on to some bigger schools and try to prove myself there. But, for me, it was about having fun and it was about doing what I wanted to do. So playing football and lacrosse was a big reason why I chose Muhlenberg. My older brother being a cornerback at Muhlenberg, and going to the game, seeing the atmosphere, seeing the whole how the team operates. I just fell in love with the culture that they built there, and really led me in the right direction when it came to that. At Muhlenberg, I came in. I felt like could have been an impact right away. They had me on the offensive side of the ball as a tight end H-back. Delaney and Nick Lamb, who were tremendous. Had both over 1,000 yards receiving on the season. And then later, my freshman year, we had some injuries up front on the defensive line. So they knew I had a background of playing defensive end at Bergen Catholic. So they decided to try me out for the last two games of the season. Had 2 sacks in the first game, and against Del Val, our last game, I had a few tackles. Didn't really pass much, but I had a pretty good impact on the defensive front in that aspect. Sophomore year, I had elbow surgery, so I really missed the entire football season. Really made me miss the game a lot. I did get to come back to play lacrosse my sophomore year, so I didn't miss out on both seasons. Junior year, I came back to football as a full-time defensive player, no offense, because we had Ryan Curtis, our tight end. He came in, he transferred in, and he was an All-American tight end. So there really wasn't any need for me on the offensive side if I can make a bigger impact on the defensive side. So that's kind of where I stuck it out for the season, and I had all my accolades and made an impact on the defensive side. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of freedom at defensive end, making plays, and then senior year, obviously playing defensive end again, with our fully experienced defensive line. Everybody came back. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, over the past, 2 seasons that you played there, you guys had great success. You yourself, 2-time first-team All-American, also on the Cliff Harris Award finalist list, also being, of course, first-team, all-conference, and also being 2-time Centennial Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Just to kind of go through some of your statistics, because, I just think that they're great. In 2018, 75 total tackles. What was it? 29 tackles for a loss, 17 and a half sacks. And then last season, you guys getting all the way to the championship game. You yourself again had 66 tackles, 26 for loss, 14 and a half sacks. So obviously a lot of good statistics there. Which one of those accolades are you most proud of? Is there anything there that really just kind of sticks out to you?
The tackles for loss. Obviously disrupting the backfield is something that you try to do every down as a defensive lineman, outside linebacker, edge rusher. I mean, you want to get into the backfield, create a new line of scrimmage every single play. But honestly, if I were to pick a favorite statistic, it wasn't even one that you said. I mean, obviously the punt blocks, special teams is something that I love doing. Um, I'm a huge special teams head. I love running down on kickoff. I'll block. I'll be a personal protector on punt. I'll snap. I'll kick. But yeah, those block punts, I had 4 this past season that really helped me.
Yeah, and 2 of those were in one game, which I just think is crazy.
Yeah.
So Frankie, just tell me about you and what maybe like I don't know, what are some of your best attributes as a player? I mean, what's the best thing that you feel that you bring to the table?
Definitely my versatility. Being a speed guy, I mean, I take pride in my first couple steps off the ball, getting a jump on the line of scrimmage, just making the tackle fear that I have a two-way go every time. He's going to have to get out of his stance fast and faster every single play. I also think that my lacrosse background helped me in the sense that I can move laterally better. Um, I'm more agile on my feet. I'm more balanced. And obviously my motor, I'm running miles and miles in lacrosse. So it translates to football when I have to put my hand in the dirt constantly, play after play. I have the wind for it.
And is there a player in the league that maybe that you would compare yourself to or aspire to be, or maybe just some people that you're just fans of at the next level?
Defensively, I love watching Aaron Donald. I mean, he's just a force up front. He's poetry to watch as a defensive lineman. His hands, his bull rush, his feet. But honestly, my favorite player in the NFL right now that I love watching is Kyle Juszczyk. He's a fullback for the 49ers. I think that the way he plays the game and the way he constructs himself is exactly what I want to do, exactly who I want to be.
So, I mean, obviously, I mean, you mentioned an offensive player there in Juszczyk. I mean, I guess the general feel is that first and foremost, you're probably going to come into the league as a special teamer, get your opportunity there. And then obviously wherever you're needed, like I feel like, again, like being a linebacker, like outside linebacker somewhere would be great. And also your experience, in that H-back, fullback sort of role. I mean, you could certainly come in and be kind of like a use check, and do whatever he does on the field as well. Um, Frankie, tell me about this off season, which has now kind of been like a full season because of COVID and stuff. I mean, tell me maybe how you've, stayed motivated during this time. And maybe just, I don't know, just talk to me about like this off season, this year for you, and how you're really just trying to keep yourself
Yeah.
at prime condition.
Since I left Muhlenberg last, whatever it was, I think it was February, March, that area. It felt weird. I mean, it didn't seem promising for a season because of the COVID outbreaks and everything that was shutting down and all that. Gyms were shutting down, so it was tough to work out at home. I had some free weights, some dumbbells, some plates, a speed ladder, bands that I would use. It's just every day in my basement, I mean, me and my younger brother, we were still working out, we're expecting to come back for a football season at Muhlenberg. But this off season gave me a chance to reflect on what I want to do, and actually enter the transfer portal. Have been trying to get recruited in that aspect, maybe play some bigger football for my last year of eligibility. Since I'm going to be graduating in about like less than a month. It's going to be a new school for me, and a new program.
Cool. So I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, again, like you said, I mean, you're kind of wrapping things up there at Muhlenberg. Putting your name into the transfer portal, which sky's the limit, I guess, as to where you might end up. But I mean, obviously, I mean, if people look at what you have done there at Muhlenberg and maybe what you can bring to the table, I mean, there are a lot of opportunities for you. I mean, I know even at the FBS, Power 5 level, they're guys that are more or less your size, about 6'2", 240 pounds, that are used as, edge rushers, like in a 3-4, scheme, or, anywhere really. Like even if I wanted to move you, like maybe, on the interior as like maybe an off the ball linebacker. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you could do that as well. I mean, you figure even going back to 2018, you had 10 pass breakups in 2018. So I mean, obviously you're able to, move around a little bit on that defense.
At the end of our season at Muhlenberg, I did play a little stand-up inside linebacker because we had so many guys up front, so many defensive linemen that were capable of getting into the backfield. So we figured we need more defensive linemen on the field. So I figured me being more athletic of the group, they dropped me back to an inside linebacker next to Mickey Kober or Josh Barnett, and kind of give me free range from that area.
Great. So I mean, obviously these past 2 seasons, great seasons, All-American seasons. I mean, a lot of great moments. Talk to me maybe about a couple of those that really just stick out for you. Just talk to me maybe about some of those highlights that you want to share.
Yeah, I mean, the first one that came to my mind was play against Johns Hopkins when they ran the jet sweep. And I kind of I heard our sideline screaming it was coming. So game plan, obviously, our sideline being dialed in, full team effort. That's what I loved about the whole play. I mean, I made the play, which shows up on the stat book, but it was because of my team that I did make the play. It was a key play in the game. It led us to help us win the game. But yeah, that was definitely one of my top plays at Muhlenberg. Another one is obviously not even to do with me. My younger brother catching his first touchdown pass. I mean, I probably maybe got penalized if I ran onto the field too early when he caught it. But that was a great moment for me. And then lastly, playing tight end and fullback. I mean, one of my favorite plays against Johns Hopkins was driving a man, their defensive end, 15 yards down the field and putting him on his back and just looking into his eyes and seeing the defeat on his face and watching Nick Savant run by me for another 60 yards for a touchdown. I mean, just feeling that energy, feeling the sideline hype me up for what I just did was a really, really great experience.
Cool. So I mean, it sounds like you could easily transition back to that role as like blocking somebody, because I mean, obviously that feeling of laying a person out, putting him on his back. I mean, those are some cool things to really have.
In this offseason, going back to before, this offseason really helped me in that aspect because I didn't have to focus specifically on defense. I was running routes with Nico and all of our receivers when we had time on Tuesdays, Thursdays, whatever. I was working on my footwork, my pass blocking, areas of the game that I wouldn't normally get to practice if I was in season.
Cool. Next thing I kind of want to chat about is really, I know it sounds silly, but you as a lacrosse player, I mean, you've been playing lacrosse actually still at Muhlenberg. That is kind of part of your resume, even though it's not you as a football player. So talk to me a little bit about your experience as a lacrosse player. Any accolades that you want to share, anything over the course of your career as a lacrosse player?
Besides probably having the most penalty minutes on the team, I had the most ground balls in the season. I had some accolades as a face-off midi, most face-off wins and the highest face-off percentage at Muhlenberg. I was a honorable mention, all-conference midfielder. I think my junior year, had some goals, had some hits, had some lacrosse definitely helped me become the athlete I am today, in the sense that kept me in shape, kept my footwork up, my wind, obviously.
Cool. So I mean, we were breaking up a little bit there with the connection. Just wanted to maybe clear up a couple of those things. I mean, you had said that you had the most face-off wins there. I think ever, maybe at Muhlenberg. Is that correct?
Maybe I would have to go back and check, but I believe so.
Okay, okay. And then, of course, I mean, obviously, like you said, I mean, lacrosse is one of those sports where you're constantly moving back and forth. I mean, you're pretty much putting on the miles as you're running in that game. So obviously, it certainly helps with your endurance. Moving from lacrosse to you as a football player, and then of course a little bit of your lateral agility and your hand-eye coordination, because obviously I've picked up one of those lacrosse sticks, man. It's not easy to handle that and to really pass the ball around and try and score with those things. It's not easy. You need to learn the proper technique.
Yeah,
So,
I give lacrosse players a lot of credit who can catch and throw with right and left hand. I mean, it's tough to do. I mean, consistently catch it and throw it the same spot with that net and that ball. It's definitely a tough task.
yeah, it's wild. So just tell me a little bit about yourself, kind of outside of sports, if you don't mind. I mean, obviously, you were a student there. You're a student currently at Muhlenberg. Tell me what your major was, and anything else that you want to share about yourself, like in this video.
So I was a business administration major with concentration in marketing. That's the degree I'm going to be graduating with in January. With that, I mean, obviously I try to utilize what my education has taught me. I'm helping out with a creative agency, Rivals Creative. They help promote athletes' journeys. I mean, highlight videos, promo videos, social media marketing, just anything that's going to help a high school student athlete or any student athlete get the exposure that he or she needs on and off the field. With that being said, I love helping out in the filming aspect of their business. I love the whole marketing aspect. I mean, helping create content for them is obviously a super fun thing. Exercise my creative brain. Yeah.
Cool. And I guess the other things that I have in my notes is that you enjoy longboarding and playing the ukulele.
Oh yeah.
So obviously those are a couple fun things to share about yourself.
Absolutely.
Hey, Frankie, as we begin to wrap up a little bit, I mean, I try and give guys the opportunity to maybe give some shout outs to people. So go ahead, give me some of those people that have just kind of helped get you to where you're at right now. Coaches, mentors, leaders, teammates, anybody that you want to give a shout out to at this time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I want to shout out every single coach that I've had from rec football to college right now. I mean, I've had some tremendous coaches along the way who've taught me great lessons in football and life lessons. Coach Nunzio has always been a mentor of mine. He's always been a role model, someone I've looked up to. He was my high school coach. Coach Donnelly, rest in peace. He was a great defensive-minded coach. He was just a great person overall, and a great head coach. My two defensive line coaches I had at Muhlenberg, Coach Delayed and Coach Orlovsky, great coaches, taught me so much about the game that I never thought I would have ever known. Obviously, my family. I'm a big family man. My brothers are obviously a huge motivation, and my parents for obviously putting me through college. Big shout out to them. Lastly, my girlfriend for lighting a fire up my butt every time I needed it. She was definitely there when I needed her the most, and definitely inspired me to be a great player.
Cool. And give me maybe just, I don't know, one or two guys there, on your team that has really just impressed you over the years. Obviously, we're getting long in the tooth with this video, but I mean, I want to make sure that give you the opportunity to shout out a couple of your teammates that have meant a lot to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, all the players on the team I want to thank, but some specific guys: Mickey Kober, Joe Hagan, any defensive lineman up front, Frank Lucchese, Frank Cresta, Brian Ragusio, Dante Leonardo, Christian Nazaire. I mean, just guys that show up every day to make me better, help make me better. I'm there to make them better, and they're there to make me better. And it's just something that is cherished and I really value.
Gotcha. And as we begin to wrap up, just want to kind of give you the opportunity, tell me a little bit about your motivation as a player, and just kind of work your way into giving your pitch to a professional team or even that team that you might transfer to. So again, just give me that why in that final pitch. Go for it, Frank.
My motivation is just being the best version of myself that I can be. I mean, I know every day that I can get better. I know every day I work hard to get better every day, whether it's one step forward or two steps forward. It's always progressing. And I guess my pitch to a potential team or a future team would be anything you need, I'll do. I'll snap the ball for you. I'll run down the field, make a tackle. I'll run a route. I'll catch a flat route. I'll rush the passer on third down. I'll snap, I'll kick, I'll do anything you ask me to. Special teams, I'd love to block.
See, yeah, I mean, anything and everything. It's kind of what you get from Frankie Feaster. So, I mean, you get a guy who is very prolific at the Division III level, really been able to dominate, quite honestly. I mean, being a two-time All-American is no joke. I mean, you're getting a guy that can definitely go out there and make a lot of tackles, behind the line of scrimmage, and even on special teams. I mean, obviously being able to go out there, make a good handful of, block kicks, make those tackles on special teams. You're getting a great player that can be involved there. And then obviously going back to your early days as that H-back, fullback sort of role. I mean, I know that you can put guys on their back. So, I mean, definitely a very versatile guy that you can put all over.
Yeah, all I'm looking for is an opportunity and a chance to show myself,
Gotcha. Well, Frankie, I do appreciate your time. Again, this is Frankie Feaster, an athlete out of Muhlenberg College, currently, in the transfer portal. Check him out.